Thank you everyone for tuning back to Freedom Chaser channel. Today I wanted to make a video about being let go at your job. Just so happens that I was let go a couple weeks ago from my job, and I am pulling experiences from it. First they started with negative ones, like I can't stand the company and I can't believe they did that, and I was kind of disgruntled for a while. But that's over, and now I'm starting to pull positive experiences, and I just wanted to make this video because I wanted to show you guys that if there's anybody out there who may be struggling with the loss of their job, that there are some upsides to it. So stay tuned. I'm going to tell you what I personally have been getting from this experience. Before I get started, I just want to say that I personally think I am a very hard worker. I think that I'm not lazy. I think that when a task needs to be done, I do it. I just don't believe in letting things slip. I like to work hard and finish tasks. That all leads me to the first lesson that I have learned since being let go. When I went in that morning and my boss was standing there, something felt off. My intuition did, but sure enough, she said what she had to say, and then I walked out, and I started questioning my capabilities on the way home. I was so upset. I started thinking to myself, oh, I'm not that good of a worker. I'm not that valuable to any company. I can't do this right. I didn't know how to do that. And I just got super, super sad. And I thought that I started questioning my strengths. And since it's been 2 weeks, I can finally see clear now that those were just lies. I believe that if you ever get let go from a job and you felt like you were doing a fantastic job, then you probably were. And if you do get let go, you should never start questioning your skills, your abilities, your strengths. Just keep on wearing them proud and take those with you during your next job you do, or during your next phase in life. So that is kind of the first lesson that I learned these past 2 weeks, is you cannot let others tell you who you truly are. If you know deep down inside you're a hard worker and you get to work 15 minutes early every day and you stay after late and you do things that you never asked to do, then don't forget that's who you really are, and don't let anybody tell you different. Second thing that I have learned in these last 2 weeks. Okay, so I had a desk job where I got the luxury of sitting down for many, many hours a day. But one thing that I didn't realize was sitting for so long can really impact your physical health. Now that I'm not at that chair for most of the day, when I go to bed at night, I can feel like my back is just not as tense and as tight as it used to be from when I would get off of my 9 to 5. And to be honest, I'm sleeping better. I don't have these really weird pains that I would have in my legs from sitting so long. So physically, I've been able to get up and move more during the day. So it's starting to loosen everything, and it feels amazing. Not only physically, but mentally too. You know, there's not all that work stuff going on in my head, so you know, I can sleep better at night, not thinking about, oh my gosh, I have these deadlines and I have to. It's not there anymore. So mentally, physically, this is definitely one of the positive things I have learned since being let go from my job. The third thing that I have learned since being let go is that there are zombies everywhere. What I mean by zombies is, has anybody ever gone, okay, so I was in the grocery store the other day and I was walking around and it was around 5:30, 6 o'clock after work time, right? And I'm picking out groceries and I'm looking around at the people pushing their carts, but they're just like, they look cracked out. They're just like pushing their carts and their eyes are like half open and they just look so lifeless. And I thought, what in the world? And then it hit me. These guys are working themselves to death. They're slaving away at their jobs. They're not making any time for their health. Probably not making any time for their family and friends either. But, you know, just to see their faces and their posture, you know, it's like they're just giving up on life. And it was very, very sad. They seem to have had zero energy left in them. And and that was just, I mean, that was the majority of who I was seeing in the grocery store. You know, that doesn't rule out people at the restaurants and people going to the mall on the weekends. It's just, it made me realize how many people are not taking care of themselves. And I understand that, you know, you have to work to pay bills, feed your family, and all that great stuff. But if we could start shifting, you know, our ways of thinking and making other things a priority, you know, we wouldn't be so lifeless. You know, it made me think that, you know, if people could maybe choose things that make them happy, to bring up their spirits, something they can do to bring joy in their life, to make money, to feed their family. You know, if people would start shifting towards that way, this place would look a lot different. But yes, I just learned that lesson, and I didn't notice it really because I used to be that way. I would get off of work, working 10 hours a day, and go to the grocery store and have this narrow mind and not see anything else and not worry about any. All I would be thinking about was, oh, I'm so tired. All I want to do is sleep. And I didn't have any motivation for anything in life other than making money and paying my bills. While you're going through this period of not working, guys, start looking around. Start looking around when you go out in public. Take notice of people. You know, what do they look like? Do they look like they're happy and really living their lives? Or do they look like they are extremely unhappy? And can you just see by their face that they're not living for anything? It's really sad. Take notice. The last thing I want to share with you guys that I'm learning more while being unemployed is that I'm starting to see things more clearly. I mentioned briefly about brain health in a few minutes ago, but it's funny to me that we get so tied up and consumed in our thoughts and thinking about work. We think about work when we wake up in the morning. We think about work when we're on our lunch break. We think about work when we leave work. We go into the weekend still thinking about work. And I was doing it. I know there's other people that do it. But using that mental energy and that time that you're thinking about work when you don't need to think about work, it's exhausting. And here, now that I don't have any work to think about, it's like I have all this space just cleared up in my mind for other things, for things that, you know, I can start thinking about. If I want to take another job, I can start thinking about, well, what does Sam really love to do? What would make her happy? Because we know that 9 to 5 sitting at a desk, it doesn't work for me. So I can take that time to research, possible positions where I could do things I truly enjoy. Not thinking about work so much. I can be more creative. I can use that time to make more videos, to write more blogs, to work on this RV more, because y'all know it's broke. That was probably the longest thing that it took me to realize these last 2 weeks, is the clearing up of I no longer have to think about that office job. I have room now to explore more important things. I know, just as most of you know, that you're easily replaceable at jobs. Employers, they let you go and then boom, they have somebody else. And to have wasted so much mental energy, even the first week after I was not working there anymore, it was a waste of time. But as a human, we like to evaluate, what went wrong, what could have went differently. And honestly, that's a waste of time. If you're no longer at this job, then you need to cut your thoughts off about it, and you need to move forward and move on to the next thing. Start thinking about your next steps. And it's funny because, I used to daydream about when would be the day I could leave this office job. When could I leave this 9 to 5? When could I have more freedom, more free time to do the things that I really loved? And I wasn't quite ready yet to go that route, but I guess that this push forward is going to be a positive thing for me. Definitely learning so much from it, and it's only been 2 weeks, so I know I have more to come. I know that it is probably going to be more beneficial that I finally left that job, because I was very unhappy in it. I just want to let you guys know that if you are currently going through the same thing, that there's no reason to be depressed. And if you are getting really depressed about it, then I would recommend seeking some help. But otherwise, just know that it's only temporary. As long as you keep your mind open and exploring options and creativity, and or just being creative and keeping a good attitude, that this will pass, and you will be somewhere better and more richer in life, and you will be growing. Thank you guys so much for listening to what I am currently learning while I go through this transition. I don't know what the next step is going to be. I don't know where I'm going to end up, but I'm going to continue to keep a positive attitude, and I'm going to continue to keep my creativity flowing, and just hoping for the best, because I know better is coming. Thank you guys. Have a great day.